Yep. Good evening, everyone. Yep. We will discuss all the concept of React features today. Yesterday, we started this, and in yesterday's session, we discussed about what is React and how React is different from Angular. One basic overview I given. So I will just give one overview about yesterday concept. We will share one WhatsApp community. You can join in that for notes. We will upload notes there. And yesterday I given one overview about few topics like what is React, and we discussed about how React is different from Angular. These two major concepts, and we learned about what is the current generation web development. It is about two types of applications, single page applications and progress. These three topics we discussed in yesterday's session. If anyone missed out these sessions, we will post a video and you can go through that. I will share that community link to you. So we discussed one basic concept about what is React. People who attended yesterday, I hope you understood what is React. React is a library. It is a library for building UI. In the current generation, it is not only for building web UI, it is also for building native UI. Native UI means we can build application user interface for both web and mobile. Can we build apps using React? No. Why? Because to build app, you need frameworks. And what is React framework used? Next.js. Yesterday I told you that we use a framework called Next.js, right? Now today we are going to see what are the features of React, how React is good, and what are drawbacks of React, and we will learn how to start practically working with React. So today I am going to give you one important concept. We are going to learn about features. Features of React. What is React? Already we discussed it, so we will learn what are the features of React. That means how React is good, how React is different from other technologies. Few important points we need to know. We need to learn about that. Let's see the features of React one by one. First important you need to know about React is, actually, if anyone asks why we need to use React, what is the great feature about React? First important feature is React is component based. It is component based library. The first important feature about React is it is component based library. What is component based? I will explain. Component based, what is advantage, how it works, we will see. Actually, component is not a new concept. You already seen this in HTML. But sometimes you may not know about component in HTML. I will show one example here. See, actually, if you have learnt HTML, worked with HTML, for example, in HTML, we have a input element. You know that, right? input have a type called date. Generally, when anybody see this, they know that they think that we are using a element, input date element, but actually it is date component. Buttons, checkbox, radios, text boxes, actually they are not elements. We usually learn as elements na. They are actually not elements. Officially, they are what? Components. How they are components, I will tell you. See, this date, when I run this, you can observe the date when we run this, it looks like this. And when I click the button, it will open a pop-up. And when I select, it will select that particular date and store in the text box. Am I right? It is having a design. It is having a functionality also. Na? Then it is not element. It should be called as what? Component. It's a component. If you want to see how this component is designed, you can see like this. You can go to right click and select inspect element. You will see elements na. Actually, you have to go to settings. Go to settings. In the settings, you will find an option called shadow dome. You select this shadow dome. Generally, it is not selected in many browsers. You select this shadow dome. When you select shadow dome, you close and see the elements now. In the body, this date is actually designed. You can expand, you can see date is designed with a lot of divs inside. Understood? That means even a text box is not a text box. It is a div. Do you know in your HTML text box have validations? You know there is a property max length. And when I write max length 10, it will not allow more than 10 characters. That means already some logic is working. Am I right? It is finding the length of string. It is verifying the length of characters you are entering. That means these are all technically called as what? Components. And what is the specialty of React.js is it will provide you to build such components easily. That means it have ready-made components and we can build our own components. Through components, building user interface is easy. We can build the user interface fast. For example, you see when you watch websites like Amazon, in this Amazon, you know there is a slider here. You can see there is a slider. Am I right? Do you know that is called as carousel now? So carousel is a component. If I want a website and I want a carousel in my website, I will not design. It will take time. You people might have learned Bootstrap. In Bootstrap already that component is present. We have to just use it, customize according to our requirement and implement. Am I right? So component based library makes everything easy. So what is the actually when you watch this Amazon is designed in React.js. Amazon, Netflix, all these are designed. Instagram, Facebook, they are all officially designed in React.js. And when you see Amazon, carousel is a component. I hope you people know these are called cards, na? Cards components. And observe carefully. When I click this menu, it opens a pop-up. Do you know its name? It is called off canvas. In Bootstrap, we have a ready-made component called off canvas. It will open from right, left. So a website is component based. What is the advantage of React.js? One of the key feature is it is component based. What is advantage of being component based? It is easy to build UI. Am I right? And very important is easy to reuse the UI. We don't need to redesign every time. We just need to reuse the user interface. Not only that, it is actually easy to maintain and it is easy to extend. Extend means you can add new features without disturbing the existing features easily. What is advantage of being component based technology? Component based is easy to reuse, it is easy to build, it is easy to maintain and easy to extend. That is not only that, actually it is faster in rendering. That means the output will be generated more faster when compared to normal. And not only that, what is advantage is it is lightweight. That means it will occupy less memory because you will add only what is needed for the design. You will not design everything. We will just add what is required for the design. So React.js will teach you how to build these type of components so that we can easily reuse. We will take one real-time example and we will replicate it. That means we will build like Netflix, we will build like Amazon like site. In our continuous course concept, we are going to build one app with a real-time scenario. That means we can build like a clone of Netflix or we can build a clone of Amazon. In our class, we are going to do that. But for that, first you need to learn all the concept, then we can build one interface. So I hope everyone understood the concept. So what is component based? So component based is easy for building user interface. It is easy to reuse. It is easy to extend. It is more lightweight and it is more fast. That's the reason React based technologies, React based applications are faster than other. So one main concept of React is component based. I hope everyone understood the first point. Is it clear? Right. Next important feature is another important feature of React is it uses JSX as language. Actually, you are not going to use JavaScript directly here. You are going to use JavaScript XML. What is the specialty of this JavaScript XML is in HTML itself, you can write logic. Actually, in HTML, we just design. But what is the specialty of this JSX language is React.js uses JSX language. It will directly write logic inside HTML, which makes coding easy. Earlier, if you know in JavaScript, you need to depend on lot of DOM methods. Get element by ID, query selector, am I right? But here it is very easy. I will tell you one simple syntax actually. What is this JSX is actually JSX refers to JavaScript. It is JavaScript XML. What is advantage of JSX is you can write code in HTML. You can directly write code in HTML. Logic can be inside HTML. For example, suppose we are having name as some John. I want to display the name in a paragraph. You learned JavaScript. Generally, what we do in JavaScript, we collect the element ID based on ID or query selector, inner text, text content, inner HTML. Am I right? But here we just put a block and we say name. It will display that name inside paragraph. That means we don't need to use DOM methods. If you want to display anything in HTML, you can directly bind the code in HTML. This is possible in JSX. So React is using this JSX, which will simplify the code. Earlier in JavaScript, we have to write hundreds of lines. Now React will shrink that to few lines. You don't need to write much complex, but with simple syntax, we can bind the data and we can display the data. This makes easy. That means what is the advantage is less code. And what is advantage is less DOM interactions. If there are less DOM interactions, then it will improve the performance of page. Improves the performance of page. That is another key concept. What is this JSX language? How to use this JSX language we are going to learn. While working with React, we are going to see this language. So another important feature of React is what? JSX. I hope everyone understood 2 points. React is component based. Another one is it uses JSX. JSX as a language. Another very important feature about React is another third important feature about React is actually it uses virtual DOM. It uses virtual DOM. This is one important concept you need to know. Actually, React.js uses virtual DOM. I hope when you learned HTML, you learned what is DOM. No? So DOM means document object model. DOM is document object model. Actually, when you learned HTML, you learned how HTML works in browser. I will just show you because generally our HTML people already know this. I will just show you the concept here. I have a diagram. Yeah. See, actually, this is how HTML works inside browser. This is how HTML works inside the browser. Means I will show detail. That means we will see the concept here. See, actually here in HTML, usually what happens is first, this generally people already learn in HTML. I am just giving a overview one more time. Because when you learn HTML, you know how HTML works in browser. No? So generally, when developer writes markup, that means we will write some bold in a markup. This markup is not directly understandable to browser. When you write any markup, that markup is first translated into bytes. Generally, whenever you know about HTML, sometimes you hear that people say we are learning HTML because browser understands HTML. Am I right? But browser doesn't understand HTML. How a computing device understands HTML? Computing device understands only binary, na? Right? So browser also don't understand any HTML. When you write anything in HTML markup, first the markup is translated into bytes. It is translated into binary codes 0101. These bytes are translated into characters. Those bytes are translated into characters. That means angle bracket B. These characters are combined and they are formed into a token. Generally, you people call as tag. Am I right? But officially, technically, browser don't understand the word tag. We don't have actually tag. It is actually technically called as what? Token. That means the characters are combined and they are converted into tokens. And remember, these tokens are converted into elements. That means bold element, italic element, anchor element, everything is converted into elements, right? Elements. Once again. Mm, mm. Ah, okay. Yep. So in 1 week and 10 days, in 1 week, 10 days, we will have another batch of React.js because too many people will disturb the batch, right? So that is the reason we will start another batch. So in 1 week, 10 days, if anybody feels uncomfortable, so you please adjust for 1, 2 days. And if you can plan for the next batch, okay, you can plan for the next batch, right? And important is in 1 week, 10 days, we will start a batch. So again, everybody don't shift to that batch. Huh? Okay, na? Right. You discuss yourself and share. Huh? So this batch and another batch we will, because see lot of people already when I stepped in, you started whistling like that is a municipality, like, but we have to bear with all your type of people because serious learners will be there, right? And people without seriousness just want to sit in the classes. We don't want to entertain such people in the crowd. So what we will do is we will conduct another batch in coming 1 week, 10 days. So because see, current generation React JS, Angular like technologies are very much trending. If you have good skills in these two technologies, you will be easily get placed into companies. With only React skills, without much qualification, also means non-technical people also get placed into companies with only React JS. You may belong to different technologies, you may finish them, but with React skills, good React skills, there are a lot of opportunities. There are a lot of skills, means lot of opportunities in companies. Actually, we regularly post into our Naresh IT channel. So these job opportunities, I will just show you. This is uh, this is my Instagram group. You can see here React.js related opportunities. When you look here, you can see any stream, any qualification job is available, right? I posted some here. You can check. You can see React.js and UI technologies, only React.js without much qualification skills also. You can see here any qualification, just React and UI. You have lot of opportunities. And remember, these are not Naukri. These are specially only for Naresh IT students. Only Naresh IT students can register for them. And many people got placed into them, right? That means if you are serious in learning React, you have a lot of opportunities on React currently. You may not have opportunities in various other technologies, but React guarantees you. Understood? Huh? Only the point is we don't want you to just sit in the class. We want you to be serious in learning. Understood? Huh? Yeah. Okay, let's continue in this. So you understood first 2 points, na? Right. Now see, when you write HTML, it is translated like this. Developers write markup. Markup is translated into bytes. Bytes are translated into characters. Characters are converted into tokens. These tokens are converted into what? Elements. Elements are arranged in an order called DOM. The parent-child order will be there. Elements are arranged in a hierarchical order. This hierarchical order is called DOM. That means HTML is presenting the DOM. CSS is styling the DOM. That means it will give effects. And JavaScript is manipulating the DOM. Understood? HTML presents the DOM. JavaScript manipulates the DOM. And CSS will style the DOM. And remember, This dome will undergo a process called render. After render, it will undergo a process called layout. After layout, it will undergo a process called paint. And the result of paint is what you see on screen. For example, I will show you here. See, suppose we are having a simple page. I'll just roughly put a bold and hello. Am I writing any structure? No. But observe carefully inside the browser. Inside the browser, you can see that I'm not writing any structure and automatically it puts a structure there. Understood? That means we are not designing a structure, but automatically it puts the structure. It knows where to display your information. This hierarchy is called as what? DOM. You observe carefully in this debugging tools, you will find an option called networking. You see here, there is a network option. Go to network option. In the network option, you see currently page is ready and we will click the refresh button. When I refresh the button, you can see the page is recorded. Observe carefully below. It shows a message DOM content loaded. Na? At the bottom, you can see DOM content loaded. DOM content loaded means the page is ready. If you want to see what happened in the background, you can go to another concept. You observe carefully. There is a performance option. Go to performance option and once refresh the page. When you refresh the page, you see there is a record button. Click that record button and it starts recording. You once reload the page and stop the recording. If you want to see what is happening in the background, you see it will show all the process in the background. I hope you can see here various phases. You can see here it shows the terms like rendering, painting, am I right? You can see those terms, na? Right? It is showing loading, rendering, painting, right? That means every page will undergo a process. Actually, that process I showed you in a diagram. How this works is, see, generally what flow I given to you is developer will write what? Markup. Markup is converted to bytes are converted to characters are converted to tokens are converted to elements are arranged in a hierarchy DOM. This DOM will undergo a process called after layout it will render. After that it will paint. The result of paint is what we see on screen. Understood? This is how actually HTML works. That is how HTML is translated in browser. Now, in this, you know that a DOM is created. But React says that I will not use the actual DOM. React says that I will use virtual DOM. What is this virtual DOM is? Generally, JavaScript, Angular, all these technologies, they will use actual DOM. Actual DOM means I will show you one concept. See, what is the actual DOM concept is, for example, let's say here, in the actual DOM, what happens? For example, we have a DOM structure, organization. Yeah. You see, this is the actual DOM in browser. Now, generally what happens, JavaScript and all these technologies, what they do is, suppose we are adding element into DOM. For example, it is JavaScript or some other technology adding element into DOM. Generally what happens is when you are adding element into DOM, it will directly affect this actual DOM. Understood? It is going to affect directly in the actual DOM. When you add some element, it will go to actual DOM. It will come back and it will show you in the UI. It will take some time. Now, what React people say that? React people say that we will not use the actual DOM directly. What we will do is we will maintain a copy of this DOM in the memory. Understood? We will maintain a copy of the DOM in the memory and we will update into that location. This will update later into actual DOM. Understood? Huh? That means this is called as what? Virtual DOM. And this is called as what? Actual DOM. This is called as actual DOM. And remember, when you click some update option, the UI is updated, but actually it is not updated. In the background, it is still updating. But for you in the user interface, it will show a confirmation that it is updated. That means the interaction looks fast. I will tell you one example similar to this. Suppose you are paying some bill using some payment app for credit card or power, electricity, or some bill you are paying. When you pay the bill, on the screen, it will show a message, your bill is being processed. After processing, the bill payment successful. You will close the app now. The amount is still not credited into your account. Why you closed it? Is amount immediately credited also? Is amount immediately credited? No, it will take some time now. But by seeing the confirmation, you are satisfied. Huh? You need message or money? Huh? You need money, but money takes time to update. Am I right? But you are satisfied with message and closing. That is what React will do. That means React will show that your operation is completed. You will feel like, okay, my work is done. That means it is fast. But actually in the background, it is still doing the work. Understood? Huh? That is the reason several technologies are not completely satisfied with virtual DOM. Angular and other technologies, they say that we don't use actual DOM. We don't use virtual DOM. We use the actual. But React says that virtual DOM is our specialty and it is good. Up to certain limit, it is good. Up to certain applications, it is very good. But remember, technicians always have some issues. For example, you are saying that you will maintain a complete copy of actual DOM in memory. Then obviously memory is heavy now. Right? That means we are not very much satisfied with this approach, but it is good in current generation. That means virtual DOM is a good feature, but it is not a great feature every time. Up to certain limits, it is good. So React application says that we use what kind of DOM? Virtual DOM. Virtual DOM. I hope everyone understood. So what is virtual DOM? So virtual DOM is nothing but it is a copy na. So virtual DOM, it is a copy of what DOM? Actual DOM. It is a copy of actual DOM. So it is going to update the actual DOM later. So what is advantage of having virtual DOM? What is the advantage of having virtual DOM? That means it render faster na, but actually in the background it is still updating. That means actually UI interactions will be fast. UI interactions will be fast, but still the work is going on. But this is one key feature of React. I hope you understood all 3 points. So React is component based and React uses JSX as language. Another one, React uses virtual DOM. Another important point about React is, another key feature about React is, actually React is modular. React is modular. I hope you learned this modular in JavaScript. If you learned in JavaScript, it's fine. Otherwise, here we will learn one more time about what is modular. I will explain one simple point about modular. That means what is the concept of modular? We will see that. See, it is modular. What is advantage of modular? I will tell you. See, this is a page. Now in this page, we have a paragraph. This is a HTML page. You learnt already JavaScript. In JavaScript, we can create some page.js, a JavaScript file. In this JavaScript file, we have a function called hello. This is function. It returns a message called hello. I have another function called welcome, and this returns some welcome. Right? I am having another function add. It will take a, b, two values, and it is going to return a plus b. Now I have three functions in a JavaScript file. I want to use these three in this HTML page. How to use them? Can you tell me? Usually you people will link a script, na? Script source. It is coming from which one? Page.js. In that there is a function hello, welcome and all. And see here, body on load. On body load, what I am doing here, I am writing a script with a function. What is it? Body load. On body load, we are collecting the paragraph by using query selector. Inner HTML, I am calling a function called hello. Am I right? And you can run and see that. You can see the output is hello. Right? For example, I want to use another one. What is that another one? I want to put a break and I want to use welcome. I'm using another one, welcome. Am I right? And you can see that welcome is also working now. Now the question here is the point. So you know all this, but the point here is you are linking a file called page.js. In that, how many functions are there? Three functions are there. How many you are using here? Two. To use two functions, why you linked this complete file? If that file have 100 functions. Understood the point? If the file have 100 functions, you are linking all the 100 functions and loading 100 functions, but using only two. Is it not heavy on application? Yes, you are doing wrong approach in your JavaScript. That is not the right way. How you can import a file and use only few but load everything? This is always heavy on application. Actually, JavaScript people learn module system. What is advantage of module system? You can import only what is needed and you can use only what is needed. Understood? For example, I will show you. I will not link the file. I will not link the file. I will remove this. I will remove body load and all. I'm using a JavaScript module system. We have to use type as module. Understood? Type as module. You see currently page is empty. Nothing is there now. Now see what I am doing is here I am making these functions as export. I can make these functions as export. That means I will export these three functions. Now what is advantage is in this HTML page, you can import only which one you want. I want to use hello. I imported hello from which page? It is .page.what? JS. And you know here, I will access document .query selector. I will access the paragraph and inner HTML. I am displaying here simply hello. And you can see that the hello option is working. Now this is more better than what you were doing earlier. Earlier you are doing wrong. In real time it is not recommended. How you will link a JavaScript file and put all the functions in memory but use only one, two. This is the right approach we have to do in real world applications. We will not link the files. We will import only what is necessary. For example, see now in the next line, I am using break, and in the next line, I am using welcome. Am I right? And you can see it will show an error. It says that welcome is not found. You can see the error, welcome is not there. You know the reason. You know the reason. It is not imported, na? So we have to what? Import welcome. Then you can see it will work. This is the advantage of modular system. React uses this modular system. What is advantage of modular system? Tell me now. It will import only what is necessary. What will happen if I import only what is necessary? What will happen? It will improve the performance of our application. It will make it lightweight and faster. It will not load everything. It will load only what is required. It uses lazy loading mechanism. You know, that means eager loading is loading everything even if it is not used. Lazy loading is loading only what is required. Actually, it is a JavaScript concept. But in React, how we use this, we are going to learn. So technically, that is the concept of modular system. So what is advantage of modular system? That means application specific library. That means module means what? Part by part. That means it loads only what is required. Am I right? So what is advantage of that? It improves performance. It improves performance of application. And obviously this also makes lightweight. Na? It will make the application lightweight. So another very important feature about React is it is modular. And the major concept, another one is it uses one-way binding, one-way data binding. And again, it is little bit controversy. One-way binding is another important feature of React. React related another major feature is one-way binding. What is concept of one-way binding is we can access data from a source and we can display in UI, and any change in UI we will not allow. How it is good? Understood the point? That means one-way binding means it will access the data from source and it will update the data into UI. And in the UI, if you are making any change, it will not update back. It will not allow to change. That is good up to certain limit. How it is good up to certain limit? Accidental changes are not allowed. Na? If anybody tries to change and we are not allowing to change, if anybody tries to change, it will not do that. So React says that internally we support one-way binding and it is little bit secured when compared to two-way binding. And do you know Angular like technology says that we support two-way binding and that is our feature. But in React, we can implement two-way binding by using another technique. We will learn about that. But in the key features, what is the concept of one-way binding? One-way binding is more secured. That means it will get the data from UI and update, but will not allow the changes. Allow the changes. I hope you are clear. So these are all the features of React.js. I hope everyone understood these points, right? So today we will conclude this here. This is enough. Okay, because as we are planning for another batch, so what you do is you plan for attending another batch, please. So first girls will leave, after that boys. Okay, tomorrow we will continue. Please wait. Yeah, girls, please leave first. So yeah, other boys, please wait. Yeah, please back. Sit, man. Yeah, yeah, road is waiting. You can go there and bark. Huh? Road is waiting. You can go there. Huh? Right. Wait. Yeah, please behave as humans, man. Yeah, all the animals. Huh? Why you are doing so? Yeah, unfortunately, you are software engineers. Huh? Companies have to bear like you people. Huh? Huh?